saying something a bit positive in terms of what we can achieve. Now, we do have enormous challenges, but it's important to understand that we have the capacity to overcome these challenges. And that's because we have examples of nations that have done it. In 1972, my father went to Beijing as Nigeria's first ambassador to China. In 1972, and the minister will know this, my father had to seek permission from the foreign ministry to go to Hong Kong every 2 weeks because essential commodities were not available in Beijing. 1972. In 1974, when Deng Xiaoping started the opening up in China, China had 700 million people living in extreme poverty. 700 million in 1974. Today, in our own lifetime, China has only 30 million people in extreme poverty. In 40 years, China has lifted 670 million people out of poverty. In 1974, China had only 8 million university graduates in the whole of China. Only 8 million. Today, China has more than 300 million graduates or equivalent. That is more than the entire population of the United States of America. Okay, so, I mean, the Chinese are human beings. And they did it. So first of all, I think we should get away from the idea that we cannot do it. Okay, because that's been done. So it's a question of, are we ready to do it? Now, how did the Chinese do it? A number of simple things that I think we need to get right. First of all, we talk about limited resources. And that is true. But you can have limited resources and either apply them to areas that will give you a multiplied effect and impact, or spread them so thinly that you go on for 50 years and you achieve nothing. Okay, so one of the things Deng did, for example, was to say, look, we cannot develop every part of China at the same time. So we're going to start with Shenzhen, and then Shanghai, and then Guangzhou. And gradually, it has spread across the whole of China. If Deng had tried to develop the whole of China at the same time, they would be where they were in 1974, because it will always be a drop in the ocean. So first of all, we're going to say, what are the high impact areas into which we put in resources? We have 17 goals. All these goals are important. But if you look at the country, and I'm glad the model has taken care of diversity, you find that Nigeria is not one country where SDGs are concerned. Take poverty. Extreme poverty in Lagos is only 8.5%. Only 8.5% of Lagos State is living in poverty according to Oxford Human Development Indices. In Zafafan, it is 91%. In Kano, it is 77%. Okay. So, in the whole of the Southwest, poverty is only 20%. In the Northwest, it is 80%. If you look at all the indices, if you look at malnutrition, 2017 in Kano, 58% of the children under 5 had chronic malnutrition. In Jigawa, it was 60%. 48% of women of reproductive age are anemic from iron deficiency. So the priorities of the governor of Zafafan and the governor of Kano will have to be different from those of the governor of Lagos. If people think about deep sea ports and airports and rail lines, they have to talk in Kano about education, about primary health care. So that is where it begins. If you've got limited resources, you've got to face what are your most important problems. The third point, and you've got 17 goals. Which of these goals really has the highest impact? Now, if you ask me as Emir of Kano, if I were to advise governors in the Northwest and the Northeast, which goal should they focus on? It's one, and it's a subset of one. just educate the girl child.
Exactly.
We talk about these technical economic issues of industrialization and power and so on. Now take the North, for example. We've been growing at the rate of 3.4-3.5%. That means the population in northern Nigeria has been doubling every 20-25 years. The population in northern Nigeria today is probably 5 times what it was in 1960. In that period, we've had desertification. The child has lost its water resources. So the resources have shrunk, and the population has increased. You're not going to solve that by having the government spend money. You're going to address cultural attitudes to at what age the girls married, how many children do girls have, how many wives do men have. Okay, now you want to address those things. You also have to say, what is the quickest way to address them? You can spend your time convincing religious scholars and traditional leaders to run a campaign. But you don't preach to somebody who wants to marry a second wife or a third wife, and then have him listen to you. He loves the one who wants to marry her. Okay? However, if you educate the girls and make sure that they finish secondary school and have skills before they start getting married, they will not have 8 children. They will not accept domestic violence. And they are more likely to stop their husbands from having a second wife. You deal with out-of-school children because they don't want educated our children go to school. You deal with malnutrition. Malnutrition is not about money. You have people in the village who would actually harvest beans that they need, come to the city, sell the beans, go back and be drinking Coca-Cola and eating bread. I think that they have arrived. Because they simply don't know that the beans are far more useful to them than the Coca-Cola. And so the education of the woman helps with nutrition. I can count it helps with empowerment of women and gender equality. So you can get to so many of the goals through one simple end, devote our resources to saying we want every girl in northern Nigeria educated, 1, to senior secondary school level, and 2, and this is why I think the reason is very important, we have to ask ourselves, how come we're producing thousands of graduates who are not employed? Is our educational system functioning? We have to look at the entire curriculum. The girls who come out and the boys who come out should be able to earn a living. And that will deal with extreme poverty, we deal with demographic growth, we deal with sustainability, we deal with nutrition, and deal with so many of the goals. Now the final point is climate change. And this affects us as an internet. Many of the problems we have in Nigeria have their roots in climate change. You can't understand Boko Haram without understanding what happened to the Chad Basin. You can't understand the conflict between herdsmen and farmers without looking at desertification, population explosion, and the lack of grazing land. It's a conflict over resources, it's not ethnic. You can't understand the Niger Delta problems without looking at what the oil companies did to the Niger Delta in terms of destroying the environment. And if Lagos doesn't have a problem today, you look at the number of cars in Lagos. If you look at the industries in Lagos, Lagos has to deal with its environmental issues. Otherwise, you see that with all their money in diseases and cancers and so on. You know, doctors the same thing. So you still deal with environmental issues. Okay. My 1 minute is not enough now. I'm very disciplined and I seek to time. I should stop here and thank you, Mr. President, and congratulations for this excellent report. And thank you for declaring that fighting poverty It's your number one priority. I've already congratulated your economic team. You know my view. I called you the day you appointed this team. It's a fantastic team, a fantastic idea.